All right, here we go. How you going? My name's Isaac, and I just really want to connect with you, man, because I'm talking today about purpose. I think this is valuable. I think you can use this if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like you just don't know what direction to go in, then this is for you. You know, right now I stand at the other side of the fence and I have clarity. I have an unstoppable mindset. I feel like I can overcome any challenge that comes my way. I feel grateful for life and I feel just so hopeful and just overwhelmed because I love existing right now. I have purpose. I know exactly what direction I'm going in, and I don't say this to boast. I just say this because I used to be in the other end, like on that other side of the fence. For so many years, I felt lost. I was addicted to drugs because I was empty and I kept trying to fill myself with pleasures of the world to try and feel just okay with existing. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're feeling the same. Maybe you've been addicted. So if you felt like you've just never really landed and you've never really been able to just charge ahead and commit to one thing, then this is a great video for you, I think. And reach out to me. So, yeah, where do I begin? The first thing I would say is having purpose is something that will set you apart from everybody else around you. And I don't mean to say that you'll be greater than anyone, but what I mean to say is that you will be the greatest you. You know what I mean? You weren't created to fit in. You were created to stand out. And that is because you were crafted so uniquely. You were crafted with such a specific purpose that nobody else can even come close to you. In whatever your purpose is and whatever you're called to do in your life, there's nobody on this planet that could ever be as effective and as great as you in that. So while we are all equal and we are all, nobody's above someone else, we are all very unique. We are all crafted very particularly. And when we access that and when we embrace that and then walk in our purpose, we become great, So that's why I think having purpose really does set you apart. But a lot of the time, a lot of people, they don't walk in their purpose, They walk in somebody else's idea of a purpose for them. And I'm guilty of this. Maybe you are guilty of that, where you didn't know what your purpose is. You didn't know who you were at your core. So instead of doing the things you're called to do, you've just done the things that have come your way. You've just done the things that have sort of fallen in your lap and gone along and just sort of flowed with life. But you've always felt empty. You've always felt like life is meaningless. You've always felt like there's got to be more. They're some of those symptoms that you have if you don't have purpose. So quite on the opposite end of the spectrum, when you do have purpose, you feel like every single day you're just waking up and you just want to get involved with life. You want to keep attacking life. You want to keep helping other people. You want to get out there and you become almost like a bit obsessive with your calling. Like, you know exactly what you got to do and you just keep charging forward. You feel a great sense of joy. You feel fulfilled. You feel like there's nothing missing. You feel like very grateful that you have the time, the skill, and the drive to be able to go through this life to actually do what you're called to do. There's a sense of ease. It doesn't feel difficult, although there are challenges. It feels like you can overcome them. So I like to think of it as like They say that if you love running, you'll run a lot further than if you don't, you know? And I find that that's just such a good way of hitting the nail on the head with this. If you love what you do, you'll continue to do it, and you'll just go straight past all those other people who are just doing it because they're trying to make money, or they're doing it because they have to, you know? If you really have a love for what you do, which is what you will have if you're walking in your purpose, if you truly have a love for what you do, you will far exceed anyone else who's in the same field as you, or who's doing something similar to you, because your endurance for it and your pace will be just unmatched. You know, you'll be able to keep going because you were created for that. So I want to talk to you about how you can access this, because I feel like a lot of people are probably thinking, well, that's great and it sounds awesome, but how do I actually find out what my purpose is, you know? And it can be a difficult thing, but it doesn't have to be, you know, and it's actually very simple. It's very simple on finding it, but you have to be humble and you have to accept certain things before you can actually walk in your purpose. And there are a couple of hang-ups that a lot of people have that we'll go through, but yeah, here are the things, all right? So the first thing is purpose is part of something that it started before you were born, okay? One thing that you have to understand is God created you. He thought of you before you were created, and he wrote down a plan for your life. That plan, that purpose that he has in mind for you and your life, he has placed within you, you know? Before you were formed, he thought of the man that you would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way until your death. He had a purpose and a plan for your life. If you understand that, then you will understand that within you, he has made you a certain way. He has formed within you certain likes, dislikes, certain urges, and certain directions that you're pulled towards. You have to understand that if you're looking for your purpose, you first have to get closer to the purpose giver. You know, I never actually had purpose until I found God. Before I was a Christian and believed in Jesus, I couldn't even think of my future. You know, I actually was like a bit of a Hindu, new agey sort of guy, where I believed that there was no future, that there was only the present, and all of this was an illusion. But I've come to recognize that that's not true, you know, and that the purpose of this life is full of meaning. There's so much meaning, there's so much love, there's so much joy, there's so much to look forward to. This is a very complex and beautiful existence. And until I recognized and found Jesus, I could not access my purpose. The moment I did, my whole world opened up and my future became very apparent to me. I knew exactly, you know, what was in store for me, and I felt hope again. So come to know the purpose giver, and you will understand more and more what your purpose is. Ways that you can find your purpose, I would say, start journaling, start reflecting, start spending time alone, free from distractions, and just, you know, reflecting on what it is that you love to do, especially the things that you loved to do when you were young. Maybe you loved reading, maybe you loved writing, maybe you enjoyed poetry and creating things with your hands. Or, you know, for me as a young guy, I loved getting outdoors, playing with, you know, my friends and going on adventures. I loved running, I remember the first time I did cross country at school, I didn't even know I liked running, and then I did it. I did really well in it, and from that moment on, I've just loved long distance running, and endurance. I love endurance sports. I always have. So look at those things that you've always loved. The second thing I would say is get free from distractions. That's got to be almost one of your top priorities. If you want to find your purpose, get free from distractions, and definitely get free from the sinful ones that are taking quite a grip on your life. Stop watching porn, stop drinking, stop doing drugs, stop distracting yourself with social media and TV all the time. Why I say that is because if you want to discover your purpose, like I said before, you've got to get more in touch with the purpose giver. You've got to come to know him and develop that relationship with him. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to move away from sin and to move towards him. So I think that's so essential. Do that. And this leads into my third part of the picture, which is start reading his word. Really get into his word. There's so much in the Bible on who we are, but who he is and why we're here. It's all part of this. You've got to get in his word. So I would say, get in there, start reading scripture, make it a habit to draw closer to him. And the next part would be to pray, really form that prayer life and converse with the creator of the universe and reflect. Ask him for guidance, ask him for clarity, ask him what he wants to see in you and you to walk in your life. Like, what is it that he's created you for? Ask him, because more and more he'll give you little nuggets here and there, and he'll reveal things, and you'll read scripture and you go, oh, hang on a second, and it will sort of like give you more and more of this plan that he has for your life. I think the next thing, which is also a big thing, is just a perspective change. You need to understand that your purpose isn't this label that's in a statement that you would just write down on a bit of paper. My purpose is to be the next Tony Robbins and to have $3 million in the bank account and have changed 5,000 lives. That's not your purpose. That is a statement, and that is some kind of destination that maybe someone would arrive at later down the track, but they will only see that once they've passed on to the other side. When their life has been completed, then you might be able to put a paragraph of what their life looked like in summary. Your purpose is about becoming more and more of the person that God created you to be. Understanding who that person is and walking in those ways. So your purpose is a walk. And more than that, it's a walk with God. So the more and more you get in touch with the man that he created you to be, the more and more you walk in those ways. So it's more about developing the character that God has destined you to have. And when you develop that character, the actions that flow out of that character will be what your purpose is made out of, Then you'll start, doing certain things and activities and creating a certain lifestyle based on those character traits and those actions that flow from it. And you'll gain clarity over time. So that's why I think that perspective change really helped me, because when I draw more and more closer to God, then I'm able to access more and more of what he wants my life to look like. And then I do the things that are more and more in line with that character. And they're fruitful, and they help people, and they really allow me to sort of move in a direction that is part of my purpose. So each step I take is along that path, and I'm growing in character as I walk on that path. Quite a lot in scripture, it refers to us being in a race, and we're supposed to run this race like an athlete and go to the finish line. We're trying to win this race here. The race, luckily, is our own race, but we must all be running in it. I think a great thing to think about as well is that you should really get honest advice from the people around you, your family, your friends, people who really know you but also love you and have clarity on who you are. They will be able to tell you exactly what they find most unique about you. You know, you can ask them, what stands out about me compared to everyone else? And they're going to be able to give you responses about what does stand out in them, like what they notice inside themselves stands out about you, what they notice, what they've always sort of thought when they think of you. I think that can be useful as well, although I don't think it's enough, because I think, yeah, you've really got to rely on God, and you've really got to develop that character based on his word and through having a relationship with him, and then walking that walk. So yeah, look, I hope this helps, man. Honestly, this stuff really helped me, and I think if you're really lacking purpose and you really want to feel like this sense of just drive in your life where you just become unstoppable and you want to really charge forward, this is the stuff. This is the juice. There's going to be more coming too. Like, I've got a lot that I want to share with you, but if you want more now, you can always reach out to me. Like, I'm available and willing to help all of you guys. If you want to just connect or talk, send me a message. Also creating a school community where you'll be with a bunch of guys just like yourself who are trying to develop that purpose, and you'll be in a community of people who will hold you accountable, who will be able to share what their insights are that might help yourself. And you'll also get the benefit of really practicing these skills. So there's so many things that you can gain from being in a community. It will fast track your progress and really help you make quite a few leaps forward. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, send me a message and I'll send you a link. But yeah, more videos to come. I'm so grateful that you've stuck this out, and I'm excited to hear about what your journey's like on discovering your purpose. So if this has been helpful to you, I do encourage you as well, share it to somebody who might need it, you know, and feel free to comment it, like it. Tell me what you think. If you think that there is something that I've missed that has helped you along this path, and you found purpose yourself, and you think that I haven't really quite hit on some things that I might need to elaborate on a bit more, put it in the comments because I'll read them. But yeah, until then, just have a great day, and I'll connect with you soon. We're blessed, man. Cheers.